Hey.
So you know that the NBA season is officially back once we're finally seeing plenty of Lakers slander on the timeline, and while it's been good fun and all, I am here to say that we need to, as a collective, stop doubting the Los Angeles Lakers, especially in the preseason, and also just especially stop doubting Russell Westbrook, even though that's a whole thing in itself. So the Lakers preseason wrapped up last night. They finished 0-4, and again, it's fun to get the jokes off, but it's the preseason. LeBron played in one game. Like, he's one of the best players in the league still. He is the Lakers' best player. Although I don't know if you want to call AD the best player. But yeah, there is no need at all to be taking the Lakers preseason games literally. With that being said though, there are bits and pieces outside of just the results that have been interesting for the Lakers as they try to figure out this new roster, because obviously there was a lot of turnover. The only returning players are Anthony Davis, Taylor Horton Tucker, LeBron, Dwight, if you count Dwight, and Rondo, I guess if you count Rondo, but everyone else is a new face on this team, so they're obviously going to need an adjustment period, and that's part of the reason why I think everyone needs to just take a collective deep breath when it comes to the LA Lakers. But the first bit of news I want to hit is that it was recently announced that Taylor Horton Tucker is going to undergo surgery. I forget if it's on his thumb, but it's something on his hand that is going to be getting done. And I believe he's going to be out for a couple of months, maybe. Sorry, I kind of breezed through the report and only saw the headline. But obviously that's a big hit for the Lakers. I don't think anyone's quite sure what exactly THT's role was going to be for this team to open the season, but I'd imagine he was probably going to be one of the first guys off the bench, and potentially someone that could end up playing heavy minutes, maybe into the mid to upper 20s for this team, considering they have a lot of trust in him. He's shown a lot of potential in previous preseasons and just other stints he's had throughout the seasons that he's played so far. So at the end of the day, the result of this one is pretty simple. It always sucks to see injuries, and I wish him a speedy recovery. I think all Lakers Nation does, because he's probably one of the brighter spots on this team, just because he's still only 20 years old, yet already has like 5 years of experience in the NBA. I have no idea how it ended up happening that way, but yeah, that's what it feels like at this point. Moving on, the other big headline that has, especially Twitter, up and rampant as they always are, is the ever-giving topic of Russell Westbrook. So Russell Westbrook has not been great so far in his 2 preseason games, where in 21 minutes a night he's averaging 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a whopping 8 turnovers so far across those 2 games. And because of that, NBA Twitter has been absolutely flaming him. So again, I'll bring back my context from earlier. This is Russell Westbrook on a new team, whole bunch of new teammates, new environment, just new everything for him. And I mean, you obviously want to see some better results from some preseason games where teams aren't trying their hardest, or at least, they don't have their schemes and stuff fully in order and full effect yet. But I believe, at least I would hope, that Russell Westbrook has earned some slack to have some bad performances, because I feel like we're literally just in a never-ending circle of Russell Westbrook, where we continuously go from Westbrook is so bad, he's a terrible NBA player, his contract is way too much, to which he then starts performing and he's dropping triple doubles every night, he's having 20 assist games every other week, until we finally hit the point again where he either gets hurt or loses a big game and doesn't play the best and everyone clowns on him, and then we just go right back to square one, where Russell Westbrook maybe has a bad stretch and everyone's calling him overrated and one of the worst point guards and one of the most Mickey Mouse guys to ever be in the league. And I'm just so sick of it. If you do want to look for one bright spot in the Russell Westbrook stats in the preseason so far, he is shooting 40% from 3 on 2.5 attempts per game, so you can't complain about that one. But in all seriousness, I very much expect the Westbrook stats and propaganda to turn around at some point, especially once LeBron gets back on the court and it's not just Russell Westbrook running the show with a bunch of random guys from random lineups and end of bench reserves guys trying to get open for him, because Russell Westbrook, say what you want about him, but he's easily still one of the best playmakers in the NBA, and I will stand by that until the man isn't capable of averaging 10 assists a game for a whole season. So Because another Russell Westbrook-esque takeaway that I have from watching the Lakers so far is that even though it hasn't been super effective in these preseason games, I am very excited to see what the Westbrook-Davis pick and roll can accomplish and result in once games get more intense and stuff's on the line. And I just think that has the possibility to be a really, really deadly duo. Because we've seen in the past what Westbrook can do with guys like Steven Adams and Robin Lopez on the Wizards for last year. So I just think crazy stuff can be going down with Anthony Davis as his pick and roll partner. Someone who can both roll and pop, someone who can get vertical and throw down lobs for Russell Westbrook to just throw them up to him. If anything, that might be one of the more underrated things that are coming out of this Westbrook to LA partnership that I feel like not enough people are talking about. So I guess from there, we'll talk about the just absolutely slew of veterans that have come to this team, and I guess I'll give my updates on what their roles are looking like so far for this team as the season goes on. First quick hitter is that Trevor Ariza is already injured and will be out for quite some time. Not much to say about that one. I understand that the Lakers just won a championship in 2020 running the double bigs lineup with Anthony Davis alongside JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard. But with that being said, I don't know what DeAndre Jordan is doing starting games in the year 2021. And speaking of Dwight Howard, I don't understand why, if they want to start double bigs, why they don't just start Dwight Howard again, because he's just, again, DeAndre Jordan's just not good anymore. I thought we learned this last year on the Brooklyn Nets where he got benched like halfway through the season, but Dwight Howard is just an easily better player. I mean, Wayne Ellington, he's sort of struggled in the preseason so far, but I trust that Wayne Ellington is just going to be a, at least high 30% three-point shooter. That's all I really have to say for that one. Malik Monk is someone who's actually been insanely good, which I bet absolutely nobody saw coming. Wow, what a surprise that this guy that should clearly be playing for more money is absolutely just lighting it up in the preseason when he's given the ball and a chance to score the ball, because he's really good at scoring the ball. And at this point, I don't know how he isn't the starting guy come game day or the regular season, game one. But yeah, Malik Monk has been absolutely torching the preseason. He's averaging 13 points in 21 minutes a night, shooting splits of 52-47, and he actually hasn't taken any free throws, so I guess 0. But let's see, what other guys, what other veterans do we have? We have Melo. Melo just lit up the game last night. I think, honestly, I'm excited for Melo to just have his nights where he scores like 20 off the bench, because the Lakers fans, it was only preseason, but every time he hit a three, at least when I was watching, they were getting up out of their seats and getting loud, and I love that for Melo. He deserves a nice little big market spot for him, a nice role in LA, because he's Melo. How can you hate on that? From there, we got Kendrick Nunn, it's Kendrick Nunn. I mean, he's really, I think he's kind of overrated. At least from the off seasons, people talking about him. I think he could fill a role as a bench guard that can score the ball, but he hasn't necessarily been scoring the ball too well in the preseason, so I don't doubt that he can score the ball. It's just I don't think he's going to be super reliable. And I guess the last veteran I want to talk about is Ken Bazemore, who the Ken Bazemore experience has been fun so far. He's done some wild stuff that I bet Lakers fans weren't too happy about, but I mean, he's hooping. Ken Bazemore's a hooper. Not much else you can say about that one. But yeah, this video might end up being a bit shorter, but I just wanted to check in and get some thoughts about the Lakers, because the discourse on Twitter has been pretty funny in recent days, especially just, again, Lakers went 0-4, Russell Westbrook getting slandered. It's really nothing new on the Twitter streets, but it's still fun to talk about and just kind of have a laugh about. But again, in all seriousness, once the regular season starts, I imagine the Lakers will, like a bunch of other teams in the league, take their rotations more seriously. Players probably take the games a bit more seriously. They'll have LeBron back, they'll have Anthony Davis going full speed. Russell Westbrook will hopefully be more acclimated with his team as the season goes on, so I don't think there should be any issues there. And all in all, we'll probably hit a point where Russell Westbrook is close to averaging a triple-double. We'll probably have LeBron close to averaging a triple-double. Anthony Davis will probably be back around like 24, 25 points a night. And assuming that they can stay healthy, the Lakers will probably be one of the better teams in the league, even if their record doesn't quite show it, because they might get off to a slow start. But yeah, I think we all just need to, as a collective, like I said earlier, stop doubting the Lakers. And also stop doubting Russell Westbrook, because in recent history, the only things that have slowed these guys down are injuries. And I know we don't all like to admit that, but it's just the truth. So again, get your jokes off while you can. Keep it lighthearted. I know I'm gonna be getting my jokes off every now and then about the Lakers, because it's the Lakers. But yeah, we just stop doubting them, because it just puts a chip on the shoulder, and the Lakers fans get absolutely just abysmal. And just, yeah, we need to avoid that at all costs. And if you've made it to this point in the video, then congratulations, you're a real one. Now, if you enjoyed this video, maybe think about hitting the subscribe button. Should be somewhere in this general direction. Or if you're not sure yet, maybe check out another video, which should be in this general direction. Either way, thank you for watching.